Dividend investors, bon matin. This is Mike Yahoo, founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks and passionate investor. What a day that we had yesterday, right? I think that it was the worst day on the stock market since the Black Monday, the crash that happened in 1987. Remember that day because I was playing with my Hot Wheels back then, right? Today's topic is why I don't sell. And I think it's very important to discuss that today after a huge market drop, another one after the past 2-3 weeks that has been crazy. The first reason why I don't sell any of my shares right now is I believe in my companies. I believe in companies that I have in my portfolio because I'm sorry for all the people that think that it's the next Walking Dead happening, but the end is not there. The apocalypse is not there either. Over the weekend, my coffee maker died, so I had to buy another one. So I use Bell BC Internet to go online using Google Chrome and then ordering it from Amazon, and it was a Black& Decker. And it was delivered yesterday as pretty much any good that I would have ordered, and all those companies are set in motion and ready to still deliver services or goods, and it was working. I know I'm not going to change the economy by ordering a Black & Decker coffee maker. I get that, but I want you to see the big picture here. If you think that 90% of the stock market, if you believe that the stock market will crash by 90% and then most companies will go bankrupt, well, I don't think this is how it's going to happen. We still have to live. We're still here. I know that the coronavirus will obviously put an end, kill some people, and this will be a tragedy. But I don't think that half of the population will be wiped out of the earth. So that's the first thing that you have to remember. You cannot really compare of what happens in the past, especially like the Great Depression. I know that a lot of people like to go back in time and say, oh, it's the next Great Depression. I've heard that in 2008. I've heard that before as well. And it didn't happen. You know why? Because human beings are incredibly resilient. There's a reason why we evolve and that we survive on this earth is because we have this ability to adapt and then find solutions where there's none. And that's the reason why I'm not saying right now. I'm not saying also because you have to put everything under perspective. I've looked at my portfolio yesterday night at the end of the day. And interesting enough, my portfolio value is still higher than 2018 bottom. And I'm not talking about 2008, I'm talking about 2018. So basically, I didn't even lost 2 years of the stock market value right now. It's just, I'm just back at December 2018. Now, I'm not saying it's the end of the market crash. It's probably not. We're going to have lots of volatility to go ahead. But when you put that everything in perspective, we just ran a crazy, incredible bull market, right? Over the past 10 years. And even last year, the recovery in 2019 was just phenomenal. So you know what? There's a combination of profit taking of people that don't want to go through this. They don't want to feel scared. They don't want to sleep well at night, and they just sell everything. And this is why all this is happening. But really, we haven't lost much so far. And I know you're gonna tell me, well, Mike, I lost like $100,000 on the stock market. My portfolio is down too. Don't worry. I'm probably down like 25 or 30% this year. I didn't even check because I don't mind, because all my companies I hold in my portfolio, I made sure that they are safely paying me their dividend. And as long as the dividend is alive and hopefully will keep on growing, well, this tells me that those companies are strong. They have enough cash flow to, on top of paying me in dividend, they will run their business, right? Because they will run their business first. Cash is king. It's like the blood in your body. So if you don't have enough blood, you're not going to give it away, right? So if the dividend is alive, the company is alive, sound and well, and it's going to keep going forward. Now, a lot of people are asking me, is it right now the time to deploy money? I've been sitting on cash. I sold a property. I've been waiting for that moment. And then I have some what they call dry powder, and they got all excited about it. And I'll tell you one thing. Today's always the day to invest money. Again, put everything back in perspective. We're pretty much just 2 years ago. It's not like we lost a decade of returns. So it's not that everything is a real deal. Some companies are a real deal. Some others have dropped too much and they will not likely recover. Pretty much any companies in the oil industry that was already shaky before that. I'm thinking about BDCs as well, Business Development Corporation. Those companies are taking higher risk than banks to finance medium-sized companies. Well, if they finance too many companies in entertainment businesses or consumer staples right now, it might be very difficult for them going forward. So make sure that you focus on dividend safety first. Look at all the companies and see if they are able to distribute a part of their wealth. Because if they are not, if they're running into some kind of troubles right now, if the yield is now at 20%, this may be not a deal. This may be a value trap and the company may cut their dividend going forward. So there are sectors that I would not touch right now for that reason. I've never been a guy that likes energy sector anyway, but there are other places where you have to be very, very careful. One more thing, I'm having a webinar for my DSR members tomorrow on Wednesday. So if you're not a member yet, here's the time. I will put the registration link here at the bottom. What I want to tell you here is I'm going to discuss a dividend safety list. I'm going to do a market review and answer all your questions. And if you're not a DSR members, don't have to worry. I have a free webinar, public webinar that will go on Thursday. And I have another one special for $1 Million Journey readers on Friday. So basically you're covered if you want to know what's going on. If you have questions that are not being answered right now, just go down, look at the link in the description below. You will find somewhere where you can register and have access to information. I want to thank you. I want to finish this video by thanking you. The response yesterday from my first video was great. I had lots of comments, lots of people thanking me, and I feel honored and I feel blessed to be able to do my job at home and stay safe. So I want to thank you guys. Make sure that you subscribe so you get notification as I will be publishing a new video each morning. Tomorrow we'll discuss banks. Obviously there's a lot to discuss here: interest rate, bankruptcy issues, what's going to happen with all of them, like Canadian banks and US banks. So we'll have a chat about banks tomorrow. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, just go there down below, write me just to say hi. Just tell me that you're safe, that you're in lockdown somewhere, but your family is safe and you're doing well. And that we're going to go through this together. And until then, I'm staying invested and I expect you to stay invested. Cheers.